Hello everyone, welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming. I feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So again, we're based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. So we're playing up in Phoenixville right now. And this is going to be another Ninth Age Battle Report. That's the game that I like to play. So, just finished the weekend, and this is what happens when my customers cancel. I actually have some free time, and that's what I'm going to do, getting all these done right now. So, Mountain Mayhem, which is produced by Gene from CGL, they're based out of Washington, D.C. Great gaming group, and it's become really a staple. I forget, it's been at least 5-6 years. I've been going there for about 5 so far. Yeah, literally, I think my first one was back in 2016. And he puts on a heck of a show. So if you ever have a chance to go down there, absolutely recommend it. Next tournament coming up is in November. I'm not sure if you've heard of this, but it's a thing called Hogs Fest. It's going to be held up in Rochester, New York, and look up Hogs Fest GT. It's all the time. If Jeff gets enough people, he's going to turn around and do a pig roast. But that's another really, really good, fun, outgoing tournament. So this tournament had 34 people, and to date, I got rocked by, it was like a list that was like kitted just perfectly to crush me, and it did. I definitely had some misplays too. But that was great, nicely done by Mr. Blake. And then on I again, the same way that my list had a crushing defeat, I had a dwarven list that looked like I was geared up to crush that, which I did. So I'm back in the hunt. I'm sitting at basically 10 overall, so I'm sitting even middle of the pack. And here's what's going to happen. So now I've got Dread Elves versus Ogre Cons. I have not had best of luck versus Dread Elves with my Ogre Cons. And granted, I'm new to the army. I think maybe 2-3 months I've been playing the army, and not religiously the way I have with my KOE, because I'm still playing KOE. So this is another Jeff. What is Jeff C? Cicero. Jeff Cicero out from Nashville, Tennessee. Awesome guy. Truly fun to play. I mean, Cole was fun. Jeff's up there with Nick and Dave, and I can't say enough about this group. I really would love for them to turn around and try to put together a tournament, whether it be large or small, because I know I would turn around and definitely go down there. I get my wife to go down. She'd love to go down to Nashville, so I can get her tie-in, and that's it. So he's playing Dread Elves. I'm still playing that beefy OgreCon list. So here's his Dread Elf list. I definitely see a lot of outcasts with Cosmo. I mean, why not? The spells aren't hard to cast. You get a plus one to your casting roll, which makes up for the one hardness. So you need to reach the dice number, but it's all about that -2 or the +2 for dispelling, or to try to dispel it. I mean, it's brutal. It is absolutely brutal. That Prince, Crippling Frost, really don't want to get into a fight with that thing. And because they hit me on 2s, because they're at minimum offensive 4, +1 to wound, first round of combat, they're hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s. Those 15-man units actually can do a lot of wounds to me. If he charges me and I don't charge him, he's going first. I'm not as worried about the gut star, but, and here's the but, is those wounds add up. So if he does one, then another, hits me with a couple of magic spells, it can easily add up. Those Gorgons are no joke. Granted, they wound me on 5s. I was playing a game on UB, and the guy just turned around and just wrecked me. He rolled out of 10 hits, or 6. They're 2 each, I think. I forget how they work, but basically he rolled more 5s than I would ever think possible. The Acolytes with the Champion, again, Acolytes on 4+ in combat. Shooting's not really my thing. He's got the Chaff, Raptor Chariot, still great. Black Cloaks, Repeater. that Kraken scares me because of D3 wounds. It's got hard target. It can wreck me. It can, if it gets into me, it can do some serious damage. All right. Here's again my list. Feel free, rip it apart, use it, abuse it. This is fun. That's all I can say. I'm having a lot of fun with this list. So we have refuse flank, hold the center. So instantly refuse flank. All right, he doesn't really. He's not playing a ranged army, so I'm not as concerned about it. But hold the center. I've got a gut star. Good luck to you and the horse you rode in on trying to get rid of that thing. So up to the top left, he dropped for first, so I counter deployed. I have a unit of, what are they? The bombardiers with the musician. The reason why is all he had up there was the unit of light troops. I really didn't want him to get around my flank and possibly go into the rear and get try for the rear bonus and then get something in. And he had another unit there that was if he can get maybe into a flank, somehow manage to keep 10 miles alive, win a combat. He can do that. So I put that unit counter deployed. Then he's got a unit of spears in the woods, unit of spears next to that. And then he's got his shooting, which case, they're only strength 3, AP 0, unless I'm short range. Not as concerned. It's more the academy issue. Then he's got a Hydra. Hydra can do a lot of damage and is fairly resilient, followed by the Gorgons, followed by another... what was that unit? I think another unit of spears. Why am I drawing a blank? Hold on, let's go back to his list. Yeah, he does have 4 units of spears. So that's another unit of spears, another unit of spears. So when you go ahead and put one of the Dread Elf characters in with the Dread Elves, they lose with the Acolytes, they lose light troops. So, and he's fully aware of that and everything else, but he still did anyway. I probably would have kept him out of the unit at first because I don't really have that much chance to shoot him off. He's got areas to hide him. He's got a Kraken. He's got the Chariot. I think he played a little too conservatively, personally, at least for deployment. And then and then you got the Black Cloaks, and that was it. So now then I turn around. I got Children of Umi in case he decides to try to do a bomb. I do a bunch of wounds. I do 2 wounds to that. And then via Hand of Heaven, and now it's his turn. And meanwhile, there are the little trappers, just causing grief. I've got the field trapped, and I'm pushing him off. He backs up. He puts the Hydra behind his archers. All right. That was it. He goes ahead. He tries his magic. So, excuse me. He backs up even more. I push up. At this point in time, I control the center, as you can see. So it looks like at minimum it's going to be a 13-7 to me. I go ahead. I finally pulverize the using Hand of Heaven once again. The bolt thrower, which only did a couple wounds, and he went into the big block. I really didn't care. The trapper turned around and got a single wound. I'm like, go trappers. He got a plucky wound off of the Dark Riders. And that was it. Again, throw up Children of Umi. And just kind of moving right along. So, this is his turn. He goes ahead. He charges. And I fled with my... what did he charge me with? I think he charged me with a Kraken and I failed my terror test. No, I'm not facing the right direction. He charged me with a Chariot. And I fled. That's exactly what happened. He charged me with my Chariot and I fled. He moved up the Hydra and he did flee a couple of units last turn because I did declare a charge with the Gut Star. And he positioned the Hydra in such a manner that he he just wanted to go ahead and breathe and get rid of the trappers. He did, and 2 left. He only killed 3 out of 5 trappers, and he's like, I can't believe that just happened. Really nerfed his shooting because, again, the auxiliaries fled from the Gut Star charge, and he tried chaffing me up. So this is now actually a pick of my turn. He's chaffing me up to try to set me up for a massive countercharge with the Kraken and his Prince and the Warrior Acolytes, that, and maybe even the Chariot. That actually would hurt. So I end up in that combat killing that entire unit, wait for it, to a man. Because the Black Cloaks, I'm going to go back a few picks now, were the right underneath his hand. I took this. Black Cloaks were actually within, I think, 6 inches of that unit being destroyed. In which case, because of that, they broke, they fled, and off the board they go. So now it's his turn. He issued the. I knew he was going to charge, so I didn't overrun. And on my turn, I actually did rally my Tuskers. He declares his charge. I fled. They broke the Bombardiers because they failed their panic because my general's out of the way. And he tried to redirect. Didn't care. He failed his charge. So now he's staring at the rear end of his spears. Up in the woods, my small unit of bruisers is picking on that other unit of spears, and that's it. So, and the Gut Star, at this point, I have objective coming around the flank. I'm not worried about anything, and that's it. So the Kraken, I have a -1 strength up on him. I've got Rod of Battle up, and I think just with maybe impact hits, yeah, I literally think just with impact hits, it only had 1 wound on it. Killed it. No, got it down to 1 wound, and then the tribesman for the supporting attack at agility 3 just got that plucky wound. So they overrun. Everything holds. They overrun. Correction. Before he picked everything up, I told him to measure the spears and the horses. The spears failed their panic check. They broke. They're off the board, and I overrun right into the archers. So again, there's that picture of them dying and me with that overrun. There's the picture of spears panicking. So there's he did 6 wounds. I did I think 10 wounds, and he held versus my bruiser brick. And this is how the game now looks. So he's trying to go after that 1 remaining Tusker. I do rally the Tusker and I rally the Bombardiers, but at this point they're gone. They're out of the game completely, so I'm not concerned about them. He was going to try to make a beeline for the objective, so I start chaffing up his spears to try to challenge. I only got 2 tokens at this point. And he charged them. I actually chose to flee as a charge reaction because I wanted his unit facing the wrong direction. And during my turn, let's go back. So I crush the archers. I choose not to pursue. And now, so I reform, and I had it so it was a long charge. Could I have gotten into his acolytes for the general and mage? The answer is yes, but I didn't have to. Like, why bother? So I just positioned myself accordingly. As I said, those 2 rallied, made that charge, and I did choose. Let me go back. So. Not there it is. So from here you can see where that Kraken is. The Kraken is. So after I kill the archers and Chaffs, he tries to overrun. You can see where the Kraken is. There's a line for me on my pivot, post combat pivot, to charge the Kraken. And if I get into the Kraken, I then can turn around and go into his acolytes. So, and it was not a far charge. He fled with that Kraken. Didn't and nothing cared. And then I had a choice. Do I try for the bomb? I do a redirect. Do I try for the bomb charge, or do I go into Spears or the Gorgons? Well, I didn't want that scoring unit left on the game, so and I figure I can go ahead and get the Gorgons after the fact. So that's bad. That unit is then officially removed due to impact hits and everything else. That unit is just flat out gone. Nothing cares. I face the Gorgons. He charges in the Gorgons. It's always better to charge and be charged. I actually do have a breath weapon spell up, as well as the Children of Umi. Needless to say, got rid of the Gorgons after taking enough wounds. So I thought I would have had more points, but again, the characters, the Kraken, and the Acolytes actually are a bunch of points. So all in all, ends up being a victory, 17-3. This was a real fun game. First time I had the privilege to meet and play Jeff. His comment to me is like, "Yeah, we don't have that many ogre players, and they don't play that way." I'm like, "I'm kind of new to the army. I'm having a lot of fun with this." And so we talked a bit about deployment and things like that. But I can't say enough about this new crew out of Nashville, Tennessee. And I hope they stay around for a long time. They're fun and everything else. And I seriously, if they try to plan something, I told them to reach out to the South Carolina Misfits. I'm sure they'll get like the North Carolina people. I know I'll drive down because they did the same for me. Or I'll fly into Nashville or something, and that's it. So until next time, happy gaming.